This is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Thanks for joining us. I'm Hawa Salihu Adama. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and all our social media platforms displayed on the screen. President Muhammadu Buhari has formally received the report on the review of the vertical revenue allocation formula for the country from the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. The report recommends a reduction of 3.33% from the current federal government allocation, as well as an increase of 3.07% and 0.44% for states and local governments. The president said as an advocate for grassroots development, he remains committed to ensuring that all tiers of government are treated fairly, equally and justly, and the sharing of national resources. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo completes the report.
Last reviewed 27 years ago, the proposed revenue allocation formula had its leading philosophy guided by the need for distributive justice, equity and fairness as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution as amended. The principles also took into cognizance the indivisibility of the country, public opinion and weighty constitutional responsibilities, as well as functions of each of the three tiers of government.
Your Excellency, it is with high sense of responsibility that I wish to inform you that after the application of the above analysis and considerations, the following new vertical revenue allocation formula emerged and are hereby advised. Federal government, 45.17%, state government, 29.79%, local government, 21.04%, special fund, ecology, 1%, stabilization, 0.5%, development of natural resources, 1.3%, federal capital territory, 1.2%, total 100%.
The submission of this report today, Mr. President, aligns with your avowed commitment to ensure that basic fundamentals are strengthened for equitable and just allocation of resources to all tiers of government for sustainable development in our country.
President Muhammadu Buhari applauded members of the Commission for their diligence in ensuring that the processes leading to the report was all-inclusive.
Ordinarily, I would have gone ahead to table this report before the National Assembly as a bill for enactment. However, since the review of the vertical revenue allocation formula is a function of the roles and responsibilities of the different tiers of government, I will await the final outcome of the constitutional review process.
Some of the proposed amendments in the constitutional review process, he said, have a bearing on the recommendations contained in the report, including establishing local government as a tier of government and the associated abrogation of the state and local government's joint account. Others include moving airports, fingerprints, identification, and criminal records from the exclusive to concurrent legislative list, as well as empowering the Revenue Mobilization Commission to enforce compliance with remittances of accruals into and disbursement of revenue from the Federation account.
I want to assure you that the federal government will immediately subject this report to its internal review and approval processes while awaiting finalization of the efforts by the National Assembly. This strategy, rather than issuing an executive modification order, as was done in 1992, is more in line with our democratic tenets.
Having followed keenly most of the discussions held in the geopolitical consultative process, President Buhari said one thing that struck him clearly was the agreement that a review of the nation's vertical revenue formula cannot and should not be done emotionally, sentimentally, or arbitrarily. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Oshibajo is in Maiduguri on a one-day visit to witness the formal handing over of the Learning Center to the University of Maiduguri, donated by businessman Alhaji Muhammad Indimi. The Vice President was received at the Maiduguri Air Force Base by the Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum and Alhaji Muhammad Indimi, among other dignitaries. And President Muhammadu Buhari has submitted to the House of Representatives the revised fiscal framework for the consideration to enable amendment of the 2022 Appropriation Act. In the communication read by the Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, the federal government seeks adjustments to some of the parameters in the budget. The projected oil price benchmark as contained in the request has been increased by $11 per barrel, from $62 to $73 per barrel. The volume of the projected daily oil production output has been reduced to 1.6 million barrels per day, as against the earlier projected volume of 1.83 million barrels. Other adjustments include an additional provision of 182.45 billion naira to cater for the needs of the Nigerian police force. There is also an increase of 3.5 trillion naira on estimated provisions for subsidy, taking the figure up from 442 billion to 4 trillion naira. The President explained that these adjustments to the 2022 Appropriation Act became necessary due to new developments in the global and domestic economies, such as spikes in the price of crude oil, aggravated by the Russia-Ukraine war.
To 7.35 trillion, representing 3.99% of GDP. The incremental deficit will be financed by new borrowings from the domestic market.
To other matters now, the Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Orji Uzor Kalu, has expressed displeasure over the attitude of some members of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. A statement by the former Abia State Governor urged leaders of the APC to be fair to President Muhammadu Buhari and the party in their actions and utterances. On the crisis rocking the Abia State chapter of the party, Senator Kalu explained that there is an ongoing peace initiative as the party would come out stronger as one united entity. Nigerians should expect speedy and positive results from the 44 bills transmitted to the 36 state houses of assembly in the ongoing constitutional amendment process. This was from guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, who expressed hope that 24 out of the 36 states houses of assembly may likely vote in favor of the 44 bills. Thomas Ogbetere completes the report.
Recently, the National Assembly voted on the 68 constitution amendments recommended by the Joint Senate and House of Representatives Special Ad Hoc Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria, while calling on the state legislatures to do the needful, are of the opinion that Nigerians are expecting that the 44 transmitted to the state houses of assembly see the light of the day, so that local governments, state legislature, and the judiciary arm of the states of the federation will no longer have to wait on state governors for funds.
The draft bills are transmitted to Kano State House of Assembly through the clerk of the House. And soon after the receipt, the House resolved to constitute an ad hoc committee under my chairmanship.
And we see the need, what to do and how to get our answers back to the National Assembly. That we will do with all sense of responsibility. It is a very, very important period and a very critical period in determining the future of even the state assemblies and local governments.
We do not engage in any public hearing again. What we do is look at them, they circulate them to all members of the State House of Assembly. Indeed, there's an ad hoc committee that handles it.
There is no clear procedure in terms of maybe having a Constitution Amendment Procedure Act.
In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
And Hingino is in our Lagos Network Center. She has the next set of reports. Hingino, you're on.
Thank you, Hawa. The federal government and United Kingdom have unveiled online cybersecurity toolkits to help small and medium enterprises deal with cyber threats and sustain their business ventures on digital platforms for economic growth. Musa Toliat reports.
My social media handle has been hacked before, and it took my business back to zero.
Kajitan is one out of the more than 1 million SME operators open to cyber attacks in the country. SMEs in Nigeria, like other parts of the world, are exposed to several forms of cyber attacks, including phishing, malware, ransomware, insecure passwords, and insider threats. This SME forum, organized by the UK government's Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office and the Office of the National Security Advisor, is therefore geared towards introducing these SME operators to new cybersecurity toolkits, train them on the workability, and grant them access to use the tools to fortify their businesses at no cost.
In Nigeria, SMEs contribute 48% of national GDP, account for 98% of businesses, and 84% of employment. So protecting SMEs from cyber harm is crucial for inclusive growth and for a prosperous Nigeria.
This partnership through the Digital Access Program covers some key objectives of national cybersecurity policy and strategy. That's our partnership with the UK government.
The project, designed to equip SMEs against the scourge of cyber attacks, will be executed through the UK Digital Access Program and its technical partners.
There's more vulnerability, so I think there will be more increased cyber attacks. So we're doing what we can to put the basic cybersecurity controls and measures in place to prevent the bulk of that.
So what we have done with this toolkit is we've put together free tools that are vetted, which means they don't need to make a monetary investment in tools and technology. And then we're training their people, which also takes care of the people angle.
There was a plenary session to share experiences with SME operators on cyber security consciousness. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Lagos State House of Assembly has passed a bill to establish a training institute for law enforcement agents with a view to setting acceptable law enforcement standards in line with global best practices in Lagos. Musa Toliat once again has details.
In recent times, the mode of law enforcement in several parts of the metropolis has left more to be desired. This is not unconnected with the use of brutal force to apprehend offenders while applying the law, and the resultant tension often leaves casualties in its trail. The passage of the bill to establish Law Enforcement Training Institute is informed by the need to ensure that law enforcement is carried out in a civil and polite manner across the state.
I move that a bill for a law to establish Lagos State Enforcement Training Institute, provide for training and law enforcement officers, and for connected purposes be read for the third time. I so move.
Speaker, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obata directed the acting clerk to transmit a clean copy of the bill to the governor for his assent.
A bill for a law to establish Lagos State Law Enforcement Training Institute, provide for the training of law enforcement officers and for connected purposes to be passed into law. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those against nay, the ayes have it.
When established, the Training Institute is expected to train agents in line with their law enforcement mandate. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Kaduna is our next port of call after this break. But before then, remember that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on YouTube at NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News, Twitter handle at NTA News Now, and on Instagram at NTA Network for updates.
This is Nationwide, and you're welcome to Kaduna. Kano State government will procure 3 boats to the people of Bagwai local government and its environs as part of solutions to incessant cases of boat mishap in the area. Acting Governor Nasir Yusuf Gawuna disclosed this during the launching of a new ferry boat donated by the National Inland Waterways Authority at Badao Village in Bagwai local government area. Our Salisu has the details.
Boat mishap in Bagwai local government area is becoming a recurrent decimal. The recent incident in November last year claimed more than 40 lives and left many injured. Experts, however, attributed the problem to negligence from the part of operators and overloading. As part of efforts to avoid further occurrence, National Inland Waterways Authority procured 1 ferry boat and 36 life jackets for the people of the area. Acting Governor Nasir Yusuf Gawuna said the state government will provide 3 more boats to make transportation easier from Bagwai to Badau and neighboring communities around Bagwai Dam.
The state government decided to deploy 2 vehicles to the communities in Badau area through the state-owned transport company Kano Line. The vehicles operates constantly forwards and backward between Badau village and Bagwai town.
He said the investigation committee set up by the state government is on course to unravel the circumstances leading to the sad incident as well as forestall further occurrence. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
Away from Kano to Jigawa, it is now many months after the signing into law of the Persons with Disability Bill as passed by the Jigawa State Assembly, but the condition of such people still leaves much to be desired, especially in accessing some building structure at ease. In this report, Ibrahim Bello looks at the situation and how the laws is working in some aspects of their lives.
Living with disability is one of the most challenging situations one can find himself, especially in developing society. Take, for instance, the accessibility to high structures. It poses a challenge owing to the fact that this group of people with special needs are hardly considered during planning and execution of projects such as roads, markets, schools, among other infrastructure facilities, despite the legislation by the Jigawa State House of Assembly for inclusion of people living with disability and the remodeling of old ones to give access. Compliance is still not encouraging.
All public structures and buildings within the law, there is a section talking about that. They have to be accessible because persons with disability, we find it very difficult to access some particular structures. And we may have a vital role to play where it's in that, but because of the barrier, that is the lack of access, has stopped us from exercising our social and other responsibilities to our people.
If we look around the banks, the ATMs and other public places such as library and other public places are somehow so difficult for us to access.
While commending the legislators and the governor for the new law, they however renewed their call on stakeholders to consider them more, as matters of right to life, association and interaction cannot be guaranteed without accessibility.
We establish a good relationship with the due process bureau. Assure us from now onward there's no contractor in Jigawa State will hand over his work to government without ensuring that he install all these facilities in the public structures.
The persons with disability in Jigawa have a structure in the state that encourages self-reliance and discourages members against street begging. In Duse, Ibrahim Bello, NTA News.
And that completes our package from Kaduna. Before we go, you can follow these news broadcasts live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on YouTube channel, NTA News online. You can also visit our Facebook, NTA Network News, Twitter at NTA News Now, and Instagram, NTA Network News for updates. We now rejoin Hawa in Abuja for more stories on Nationwide.
Thank you very much from Kaduna. And back here in Abuja, the People's Democratic Party's National Reconciliation and Strategy Committee has submitted its final report to the National Working Committee, advising that the conduct of rank-free primaries into various elective positions in 2023 general elections will further stabilize the party. Timothy Yusuf completes the report.
This report, the National Association.
Chairman of the PDP National Reconciliation and Strategy Committee, Dr. Bukola Saraki, submitted the report to the party's national chairman, Yocha Ayu. Dr. Saraki emphasized that while so much has been done, there was still much to do, especially ahead of the 2023 general elections, advising the party leadership to at all times adhere to the principles of equity, good conscience, and inclusiveness.
To ensure a thorough and extensive scrutiny process in the selection of people who will be sent to go and conduct the primary election in the various states that will prepare for the 2023 election. Mr. Chairman, we cannot emphasize on this issue because from our exercise, we found out that this is, in most cases, where the problem starts in a lot of the state chapters that were involved. There must be people who are fair and who adhere strictly to democratic tenets. And sanctions should be meted out to those who you find that have gone to create crisis in states by their action.
Very soon we shall be inviting all of the members of the committee and other party leaders to come with the formal commissioning of the People's Democratic Institute. And we hope that that institute will help us in the next electoral campaign.
The party's National Reconciliation and Strategy Committee was tasked with the mandate of identifying and resolving disputes at various levels of the party structure and reconciling aggrieved members to promote cohesion and strengthen the party structure. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
To health matters now, the World Health Day is celebrated every year to commemorate the anniversary of the founding of the World Health Organization, WHO, in 1948. The primary role of the WHO is to direct international health within the United Nations system and also to lead partners in the global health responses. Rosemary Bilal reports.
Each World Health Day, a theme is chosen that highlights an area of priority concern for the WHO. This year, in the face of the COVID pandemic, a polluted planet, and an increasing incidence of diseases like cancer, asthma, and heart disease, the theme is our planet, our health.
Our planet is playing a very important role in our health because you can say, okay, I just want to take care of my body and I live, but of course, the environment is very, very important. You'll be surprised that so many deaths are being caused by diseases that we can link to the environment.
Air pollution, contaminated water, inadequate sanitation, including solid waste management, and negative impact of climate change, which are the most pressing environmental public threats in the region.
In 1948, World Health Organization defined health as a state of complete physical, social, and mental well-being of an individual, and not merely the absence of disease or illness or injury. But this definition has also evolved, adding 5 dimensions because it didn't cover the 5 dimensions of health. So this definition has also moved to include the 5 dimensions of health, which is physical, mental, social, spiritual, and emotional well-being of an individual.
The ability to understand their importance to your health. What does carbohydrate food give to the body? They give your body energy, they help you to regulate metabolic processes, especially those ones that you don't see, those ones that happen when you are sleeping, when the body is respirating. when you are breathing, when there's circulation of blood. All of these things need our body to be resuscitated.
World Health Day is celebrated annually, but each year draws attention to a specific health topic of concern to people all over the world. Rosemary Bilal, NTA News.
Meanwhile, in response to the World Health Organization's recommendation on the use of uterotonics for the prevention of postpartum hemorrhage, a new medicine known as a heat-stable carbetocin has been introduced in the Nigerian health sector for places where oxytocin cannot be guaranteed. Elizabeth Omori reports that the new entrant aimed at reducing maternal death was applauded by the wife of the Niger State Governor, Dr. Amina Abubakar Bello.
World Health Organization report on maternal deaths shows that Nigeria accounts for over 34% of global maternal mortality. The risk for a Nigerian woman is 1 in 22 compared to 1 in 4,900 in developed countries. This disturbing figure necessitated the intervention aimed at reducing maternal deaths in Kano, Lagos and Niger states.
Over this journey, we spent the first year of the program updating the necessary policies, and now in the second year we're training health workers. We've gotten the drugs in and then working to make sure we start to use it in the facilities in a sustainable way.
A lot of women don't have access to the proper oxytocin. So this is a very good strategy because we don't need to put them in the fridge, which means if women get that drug, then that PPH can be prevented.
The new initiative encourages states to implement financial implications for the adoption and rollout of medicines to align with WHO's 2018 recommendation on preventing postpartum deaths.
Particularly in the focus states of Niger, Lagos and Kano, we started with training of trainers for national trainers, and we've been cascading to service providers.
Players in the health sector recommend strengthening of community awareness for effective service delivery. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
For years, the European Union, Germany and other stakeholders have partnered to promote inclusive vocational education and training that meets the labor market demands in Nigeria. The group, more than ever, is focusing on sustainable agriculture and urban skills development through cashew production as a way of ending poverty and unemployment. Charles Alpha has the report.
The agricultural sector is regarded as one of the largest employers of labor in Nigeria, and the cashew subsector, the second largest export commodity. Nigeria and its European partners are leveraging these opportunities to create more value addition and end unemployment and poverty through the creation of over 1,000 jobs for Nigeria within the period of implementation, with cashew production as the focus.
In Nigeria, the focal sectors chosen for support under the toolbox are sustainable energy, sustainable agriculture, sustainable infrastructure, which are of course relevant to the development objectives of Nigeria.
The road to training and sustainable job, one world without hunger and food security, has been the major drive of this group, despite concern of peace and stable farm laws.
The Vet Toolbox partners with Glovo, which has the objective to professionalize the delivery service in the service sector and to offer riders the opportunity to learn core skills in the delivery as well as additional skills that are relevant in other markets.
Both of these projects were tailor-made to the capacity building needs and development opportunities of the private sector. So the project is opportunity and demand driven.
Sector driving income growth at very food and nutrition security, generating employment and transforming Nigeria into a leading global food market.
The Nigerian's transport and logistics sector, they say, is also one of the fastest growing industries in Nigeria, but with relative skills gap. To address and maximize the economic potential in this regard, stakeholders are professionalizing delivery and improve business skills of cashew farmers and factory workers and the GIZ in Nigeria. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Activities leading to the 2023 general elections should not truncate government policies, programs and projects aimed at lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty. This is the position of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, and secretaries to state governments at the first quarter 2022 forum in Abuja, with the theme bureaucratic continuity during pre-election and transition periods. Mitaire Ikben completes the report.
This forum of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation with secretaries to state governments was instituted to share best practices and encourage peer review of governance processes at the national and subnational levels. SGF Boss Mustafa is frank with other top bureaucrats from the state that election years always throw up challenges of governance as well as sustainability of projects and programs of government at all levels. Hence the need to stay focused and committed, particularly to poverty alleviation programs.
It is important that we remain proactive if we need our principals to succeed in delivering promises made to the people.
And I'm pleading with the state governments to please support us in monitoring these programs.
Other speakers are unanimous that governance should not be overshadowed by electioneering campaigns.
By public service values, you're supposed to show political neutrality. You're also supposed to show impartiality.
How do we keep the government flowing so that we finish stronger than we started and leave a stronger delta? And it's not different from what I'm seeing here.
It will be useful to have the offices of Secretary to the state government to be the coordinating office for a lot of the federal government programs.
The bureaucrats were also reminded to drive the process of expanding vaccination coverage in their respective states, as the COVID-19 battle is not yet over. From the State House Conference Center, Abuja, Mitaire Ikwen, NTA News.
To security matters now, some suspected criminal hideouts along the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, have been marked for demolition. Senior Special Assistant on Monitoring, Inspection and Enforcement to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Ikaru Atta, disclosed this when he led an enforcement team to the area. Onozi Yakubu tells us more.
The areas marked for demolition are Basanjua and Patan communities close to the main gate of the local wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The Senior Special Assistant on Monitoring, Inspection and Enforcement, Iharuata, disclosed that all the shanties and illegal structures around the Basanjua train station will be pulled down. According to him, the planned demolition is in continuation of the FCT Minister directive to rid the nation's capital city of shanties serving as criminal hideouts in the territory.
The worst part was in Basanjiwa, where the rail corridor have been badly encroached upon. Now we cannot sit down, watch, and just fold our hands. It's painful. It's touching here, and we tell the people that we have marked, they should all go. We'll come back to clean very quickly.
The task team also marked for demolition some illegal structures in Kalmajija and other shanties along Kuje Township Road, obstructing free flow of traffic.
I think Kuje will do more of engagement. We have come to tell that these structures are illegal. We would be engaging with the council chairman, engaging with the traditional rulers, engaging with some key stakeholders here.
As part of our mandate, we have to organize and ensure orderliness, safety, and convenience of all activities on space.
Director Department of Development Control Mukhtar Galadima, however, maintained that as one of the satellite towns in the FCT and with strategic location to the city center, Kuje must be given serious attention. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Nigeria is strengthening ties with the financial sector, deepening Africa to support growth in the economy. Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Lamido Yuguda, said this during a visit to the Commission in Abuja. Bosede Abel reports that during the visit, both parties reviewed Nigeria's 10-year capital markets master plan. The master plan seeks to support the country's economic resilience, human resource transformation, information technology strategy post-COVID economic growth, as well as new economic challenges posed by the Russia-Ukraine war and its effects on African markets.
You are doing so much, for our capital markets, and I think this is really, it's really well appreciated. And the good thing is that all those organizations that you are helping, I can tell you they are really getting stronger by the day. Yes, because we work very closely with CREPMF, with SEC Ghana, and we connect them with our own local, market infrastructures.
But I just wanted to recognize, the courage of this organization for taking those decisions, because it's really important to do that. This whole business about having a vision, the culture change, having sort of developing the idea of becoming a progressive regulator and embracing innovation.
And Chineye in our Enugu Network Center is next in line with more reports. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, Hawa. Welcome to Enugu. Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Dr. Boboye Oyeyemi, wants the 250 cadets from the Federal Road Safety Corps who graduated from the Corps Basic Course to uphold discipline and make safety of Nigerian roads their priority. He was speaking at the passing out parade of cadets of 2021 officers. Chika Ugu has the report.
These 250 cadets from different states in the country were put through 6 months of thorough regimentation and educational training in various fields and certified worthy, both in character and learning, to become officers of the Federal Road Safety Corps. Corps Marshal FRSC Dr. Boboye Oyeyemi noted that with the robust training and their display in parade, it is evident that they are ready to contribute their quota in ensuring safety on roads. He advised them to improve their competence by availing themselves for more training.
I will assure Nigerians of the operational readiness and capacity of FRSC to work assiduously towards minimizing road traffic crashes on the nation's highways.
While preparing to be posted to various formations in the Corps, the officers expressed determination to discharge their duties with utmost responsibility.
Garnered lots of knowledge, ranging from how to be a patriotic citizen to being an officer with a difference. And with that knowledge, I expect and I also anticipate going into the field and also contributing my quota towards making the roads safer and towards improving the safety of Nigeria.
High point of the event was the presentation of awards to the cadets who distinguished themselves in various fields. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
A one-year program tagged Gender-Based Violence, Sexual and Reproductive Health Rights for Women and Girls with Disabilities in Enugu State has commenced with a call on all to contribute their quota in creating a world where rights of people with disabilities are safeguarded. Again, Chika Ugu reports that various non-governmental organizations, civil societies, and other key players were present at the formal launch of the program.
Research has shown that physically challenged women and girls are oftentimes relegated to the background, exposed to various forms of violence, abandonment, and sexual transmitted diseases as the result of sexual abuse. These physically challenged women and girls are sometimes deprived of medical care by health practitioners, while some hospital structures are constructed without putting accessibility of the physically challenged into consideration. Hence, this program by the Voice of Disability Initiative and National Democratic Institute.
She goes for antenatal care. You see health practitioners avoiding her. They will say nasty things about her. Sister, why did you get pregnant with your disability? I can't handle you because I have never handled cases like this before.
The event featured a technical workshop on Nigerian Disability Act, enacted in December 2019 by President Muhammadu Buhari, which ensures the total well-being of people with disabilities.
Persons with disability, almost 1 to 10 of them, every time encounter violence. This is because they either cannot talk, walk, or cannot hear. So people use them in ways they cannot really express themselves.
The one-year program is embedded with sensitization programs in communities on gender equality, evidence gathering and documentation of rights violation experienced by women with disabilities in Enugu. Chika Ubu, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our Twitter handle at NTA News Now, our Facebook page at NTA Network News, and our YouTube channel at NTA Live. We'll take another break here. Nationwide will continue with Fatima in Makudi after this break. Do stay.
And a warm welcome to Makudi. Barely 2 years into the construction of Kefi Akwanga Lafia Makudi dual carriageway, commuters are beginning to see the impact as most parts of the 221 kilometers road have been covered. This has drawn commendations from road users as well as residents thanking the federal government for the multi-billion naira project. Correspondent Moses Ajau Ode, who visited some of the sites, reports that work on the road is progressing as scheduled.
Road construction and rehabilitations are part of government's effort to bring development to the people. In its effort to ameliorate the sufferings of road users and improve the traffic situation on the road, that the Federal Executive Council approved the construction of 221 kilometers Kefi Akwanga Lafia Makudi Way to reduce travel time and open up communities. Work at the Makudi Lafia sections have continued to record meaningful progress as the asphalting has commenced, while earthwork are ongoing in some sections. Some commuters along Makudi Lafia Road describe the work as a shared commitment of the federal government to bring dividends of democracy to the people.
Before, we spent a lot of hours before to go into Lafia or Abuja. But now, there's a lot of change. Well, due to the road construction, it is very smooth. We don't have a lot of hindrance.
Other road users, while commenting on their experiences in the past, observed that the early completion will improve travel time and boost business in the state.
You can see the road is okay, just that the water, the sea is giving us serious issue.
They appeal to relevant agencies of government to consolidate on the gains recorded so far and complete the project in record time.
According to some road users and residents of Makudi, the dualization of the Makudi-Lafia road will improve on the traffic flow on the road and enhance the infrastructure and aesthetics of the state. From Makudi, Benue State, Moses Ajau Ode, NTA News.
Thousands of Makudi residents have benefited from the free medical outreach organized by the Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission Hyperdeck as part of efforts to ensuring access to quality health care for rural dwellers. Correspondent Sandra Dowese Akeme reports that it is in collaboration with other NGOs with leanings in Medicare.
The 3-day free medical outreach for Makudi residents organized by Hyperdeck is to provide access to medical services, especially where there is absence of healthcare facilities or non-functional primary healthcare centers. Thousands of people suffering from different ailments showed up at the St. Augustine's Parish, Demekli, RCM Primary School, Adaka, and Itra IDP Camp North Bank area of the state, where they received general consultancy and free medication. Other services received were hypertension and diabetes screening, malaria parasite testing and treatment, tuberculosis, hernia screening and surgery where necessary.
I was diagnosed. After the diagnosis, they gave me one drug that almost finished my problem.
According to the organizers, the outreach is one of the humanitarian services targeted at giving back to the society.
This commission is responsible for bringing succor to them in several ways to enable them get all the needed equipment, drugs, and what have you.
Between the first 2 days, we have seen close to 1,000 patients. We've all screened them for TB. We've also done the mobile TB screening exercise in the locations where we're doing this work.
We chose these areas because of the incessant crisis between the farmers and herders. This crisis have driven our people from the hinterlands to these areas, and they are living mainly as squatters. And because they are squatters, of course, they have limited access to healthcare.
The free medical outreach targets 1,000 beneficiaries in the states. In Makudi, Sandra Doisi Akeme, NTA News.
And that's it from Makudi. Nationwide continues with Hawa in Abuja.
Very well, Fatima. Thank you. Another feather has been added to the cap of the Nigerian Television Authority at a conference organized by the Defense Headquarters and Zakle Limited, which conferred an award on NTA's defense correspondent Ismail Musa and the NTA as an organization for professional handling of defense and security reports. Najatu Tijani completes the report.
NTA's defense correspondent Ismail Musa bagging an award for professional reports in defense and security at this conference aimed at enhancing media-military relations towards checking insecurity.
Service to humanity has been recognized and leading to this award. I'd like to express my gratitude to NTA that have given me the platform.
Ismail's role is part of a bigger picture which the NTA plays towards bridging the gap between the military and the media, dating back to 1977 when NTA was inaugurated by Decree 24 under the then military government.
The media and the military are two critical institutions that guarantee national development and sustenance of democracy.
We have a team of defense correspondents who have at every point given us on-the-spot report of what is happening on the field across the nation, not just in the Northeast.
We are trying to bring the journalists to really understand the essence of getting adequate information and reporting adequate reports.
Other media organizations were also recognized for their roles, with a call to promoting patriotism while handling sensitive security reports. Najatu Tijani, NTA News.
Thanks, Najatu. Even in security matters, you cannot beat NTA's reach. Sports now with Ayodeji Makinde.
The Rugby Football Federation has expressed confidence that its newly ratified constitution at the annual Congress in Benin last month will position the sport for massive grassroots development and elite rugby players for the country.
We will not disappoint and we will do what is needed to make sure that rugby comes back alive and become a brand that will be sought after by people of well-meaning intentions in the country.
The Federation believes its consultations with relevant national and international supervisory bodies of the sport will hasten processes of lifting the ban on Nigeria by World Rugby due to previous interference by government authorities. Inspector General of Police Usman Alkali Baba has reassured the commitment of the force to its cardinal policies of identifying, recruiting and training gifted sportsmen for Nigeria's success. The IGP disclosed this in Abuja while receiving the all-conquering Nigerian police team to the 2022 One Service, One Medal Awesome Games, where they won 80 gold, 26 silver and 35 bronze medals at a time, which coincides with the commemoration of IGP's 1 year in office after his appointment by President Muhammadu Buhari. With Sports Update, Ayodeji, Makinde, NTA News.
And sports updates concludes nationwide this Thursday. Don't forget to be a star. Join the NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. Thanks for watching. I'm Hawa Salihu Adama.